Today, we are in the series called Transitions. And you know what? Finding God in difficult transitions. Brothers and sisters, whether we like it or not, a change is a constant. Change is always there. It is perpetual. Transitions will be there all the time. Ang pamangkot is, when you are in the midst of change or transition, are you scared? Are you happy? Are you excited? Are you worried? Are you doing it all alone? And that is why it seems that it's so scary, because it is a journey into the unknown. Or you're saying, Lord, here we go again. Lord, thank you for bringing me to the next step, to the next level. Lord, I'm single now, but there's a man here that would like to get my hand, and he wants me to marry me. Is this your move, Lord? Is this your way, Lord? Is this it, Lord? Lord, ang budlay kay nga, do limag isla kabilog, sino na di sila? Alright, di gusto ko kabalubla kung sinugid. And these are things that are what you call transitions, difficult, and there are decisions to be made. There are transitions nga do kasadya lang. Graduation is one. Bagong kasal, nag-honeymoon mo, kanami nga transition, nag-abot ang healthy baby out of a normal delivery. Wow! A birthday party, why not? You just won the elections. Wow! That's probably one of the best transitions and the joy you have had. But what if it's a transition that dali lang gid? Do I ko nigin expect how? Do nagdako akong problema ni how? Dugin pabudlayan ko ni how? What will you do? Well, let's see. In this series, Believing God When Transition Becomes Displeasing, in Exodus chapter 17, 1-6, it begins in this line in the Message translation. I like it very much. Namiya ko nga translation, kay kahapos bala, kag kamagaan hapos intindihon, ang sanguna pa. Remember, this was written 3,000 years ago. And here it is, kanami, because we have a modern translation that can help us see what happened in the past. Directed by God, first line. Ladies and gentlemen, this transition is directed not by Moses. This transition was not directed by the enemy. This transition, this thing that will happen now, is permitted by God Himself. Directed by God, the whole company of Israel moved on by stages from the wilderness of sin. Dali lang din sila halin gani, naghalin sila sa Egypt, ha? God rescued them. If Exodus chapter 15 was a song that Moses sang, that Miriam got the tambourine. Miriam got the tambourine, and all the ladies got the tambourine and started to sing the song of deliverance. We're free, we're free, we're free. We're free from slavery. We're free from Egypt. We are freed from a ruler and superpower during the time. Sino man lang kami man, we are slaves. We are nothing. But now we have freedom. Ay, luutod ko katawag sa freedom. Freedom is one of the best gifts ever given to man. Now we are free to worship Yahweh. We are free to worship our God. And God showed His hand to them. Remember the plagues? 10 plagues. Why 10? Because there are 10 powerful gods in Egypt. And these 10 powerful gods of Egypt are the ones directing Egypt. But this time, there is another director. And the director is God Himself, Yahweh. And Yahweh started to manifest Himself in miracles after miracles, destroying these plagues, pulo, kabilog, to a point that the last was the big blow. There was death among the firstborn of all Egyptians. Can you imagine? The prince to be died. The heir to be died. The little kids that are firstborn died together with all their animals. And this was the last. And that is why Pharaoh said, lakat ka mo! Lakat ka mo! Paglakat nila, yay! Inlaga sila, remember? Ginlagas pa sila, ay nano ni man. And then Moses was there, of course, parting the Red Sea, a miracle, a beautiful transition. Now they are on a journey. Brothers and sisters, God is not just after the opening of the door for you to be free. He wants to change your character, my character, as we follow Him. So the Lord is not just giving us freedom, the Lord is giving us character. To follow Him, to be with Him, to be like Him, to be like Father, like Son. He wants to process us. Amo nang natabo sa sini nga istorya mandiri sa Exodus 17. Directed by God, the whole company of Israel moved on by stages from the wilderness of sin. They set camp in Rephidim, and there wasn't a drop of water for the people to drink. Aragoy, may problema. Kahapon, sa isa ka simana, ang problema, damo tubig, purti kapait. Remember the story? It's called Mara. The water is so bitter. We could not drink this. Nagreklamo sila. They complained, they murmured, until they found out the purpose. The purpose why that water was supposed to be bitter, in order for God to tell them to follow Him. And scientifically, we found out that water that was bitter was filled with magnesium. Magnesium is a laxative, purga. Magnesium is a type of a certain thing, chemical and mineral and nutrient. It comes to you in order to cleanse you. Si God gali gusto mag-ayo sa ila. That is why God said, if you follow me, if you listen to me, I will never let any diseases of Egypt come upon you. I am Yahweh Rapha. What is Rapha? Healer. No wonder ang mga maayo nga mga bulong pait. Kag ang tamis do hindi nami nga bulong diabetes. Okay? See that? Oh. And there are times you have to take a bitter pill. There are times you have to make a bitter move, a bitter decision. You have to take something that eventually will put you into humility. Why? Because in that quote-unquote, that kind of a bitterness will be the one to let you become sweeter. That was last week. Now we come here, subong yalain na, way nagidya tubig. There wasn't a drop of water for the people to drink. The people took Moses to task, give us water to drink. But Moses said, why pester me? Why are you testing God? Kagtuan la si Moses, nagreklamo sila kay Moses. And by the way, we learned something a little bit here. When you come against a person in authority, you are coming against the person that gave him authority over you. That is why we have to honor authority. Authority, for example, parents. God gave us parents. I'm not saying our parents are all the time perfect. No. But because God has placed them over us, we have to respect them. Not only parents, principals in school, the police, in-law, and probably the president, all right? And probably the priest or the pastor or a potentate or a prince God has placed upon us. How do we treat authority? Diri, do wala sila gasalig sa authority. Ginsuyaan na si Moses. Kag siling ni Moses, kung ginaakigan niyo ko, kag ginapester niyo ako, you know what? You are fighting and testing God. Because this is all in the direction of the Lord. God has a plan to disciple you. But the people were thirsty for water there. They complained to Moses. Why did you take us from Egypt and drag us out here with our children and animals to die of thirst? Patyon mo kami? Moses cried out in prayer to God, what can I do with these people? Any minute now, they'll kill me. Nanamian ko kay Moses. Moses, as a leader, cried out to the leader. Are you a leader? Are you a parent? You are a leader. There are times you cannot handle it anymore. That is why you have to submit to a higher leader, and that is the Lord. All right? Moses cried out to God in prayer. What can I do with these people? Anytime now they'll kill me. Inaway na ko din nila. Garanamok na din iban sila. Kabangis na di sila. Ginabasol ko nila. Oy, kung tutuon ka nga leader, nga away di tubig. Gaan mo kami di tubig. Ano, patsyon mo kami. Ari mo. Gaan mo na sila. Alright? It was not anymore good. God said to Moses, go on out ahead of the people. Now, let us learn leadership 101 ha. Kadali ha. Number 1 here is the word go on. Can you say the word go on? 1, 2, 3. Kanami, no? Kung may problema, hindi mag-stop. Kung may problema, go on. The word Exodus is to go, to be free, to go and look for the exit and leave and depart and go on and go forward. Number 1, God said to Moses, go on kaya ha? Go on kaya. Number 2, out ahead of the people. Can you say the word out ahead? 1, 2, 3. Ang meaning sini, there has to be a time that as a leader, you have to leave the people nga reklamador. Ang mga tao nga kadamo reklamo, leave them. Do not listen to people. Do not listen to problems. Do not just listen to pain. Of course, we must listen, but not 100%. 100% you listen to the promises of God. That is why out ahead of the people. You go on forward, out ahead, you separate from the people. That's number 2. And number 3 that we can learn here is taking with you some of the elders of Israel. So God was telling him, Ari ay, may sulbon ko nga problema ha. Pero ang problema, wala ang solusyon sa tao. Tanan nga problema, tanan nga nga kabudlayan ara sa reklamo. Why na tong solusyon? Ang solusyon ari sa akon. So you have to go on out ahead of the people, and I have to tell you, Moses, you are not the only leader here. There is a leadership of eldership here. So you better make sure you get already all the elders from the people, you get them and let them be with you. May data sa isa ka bato. Kabalo ka kon nga, kung pabayaan mo ang mga leaders dito sa mga tao nga puno sa reklamo, most of the time they will be contaminated. They cannot lead anymore because they will be contaminated. They will be so paranoid and they will be so frustrated, and sometimes in fact hindi na sila kabalo ko na nung himuon nila kay kadamo-damo sa pamatian nila nga hindi amo. So God was telling him, taking you with you some of the elders of Israel, take the staff you used to strike the Nile. Not only the leaders you are to bring, you are to make sure you take the staff. You take that, the ato lang baston nga gingamit mo, the staff. Where was that? Oh, probably this is the staff. Why? Because this one will remind them of something that happened in the past. The staff, remember, that you used at the Nile? What was that? When you placed the staff on the river, into the river, the Nile turned to blood. I want your leaders to remember that, so that they can believe in what I will do again. Remember the staff. It was the staff that you placed in the river turned into blood. It was also the same thing that you pointed towards the sea. And then what happened to the sea? The sea was divided. Kanami kay Lord, take the staff you used to strike the Nile and then go. Namiyan ko sa word nga go. Because in Exodus, it means to go. It means to move. It means to depart. It means to exit from a certain slavery space into a freedom space. I want you to be settled over there. Take the staff you used to strike the Nile and go. Don't just stand there, you go. Where will I go? I'm going to be present before you there at the rock of Horeb. Dito ta makitanay sa isa ka bato. Okay? You go, you bring the leaders there, and you bring the wood that you used. You are to strike the rock, water will gush out of it, and the people will drink. Moses did what he said with the elders of Israel right there watching. So what is happening here? This time, God is, of course, formally endorsing Moses to them, and of course also them receiving an impartation of leadership from Moses before the Lord, so that they can lead a group of people that is so filled with what? Murmur. So filled with what? Complaining. And so filled with what? Forgetfulness. Wala nakapanumdum kung ano natabo bag-ulan. Ginluwas sila ni Lord, but they could not remember anymore. They were complaining and complaining and complaining. That is why a person that cannot remember cannot give thanks. Moses did what he said with the elders of Israel right there watching. He named the place Massa. The meaning of the word Massa is testing place. And Meribah, quarreling, because of the quarreling of the Israelites and because of their testing of God when they said, is God here with us or not? Brothers and sisters, listen ha, you will have a Massa. You will have a testing place. I pray that when you arrive and come to that transition of a testing place, you will not make it a Meribah. You will not quarrel other people. You will not blame other people. You will not quarrel God. You will not blame your leader. You will not blame anybody. You will not be bitter. You will not be a Meribah. But rather, you will be a person that would say, Lord, thank you for this test. Show forth your glory once more. Because I know you're a God of miracles. Because I know that once you started something, you are faithful to finish it until the end. He who began a good work in you is faithful to complete it and complete it. Yes, Lord, I am in the midst of a test. I am in Massa right now. But instead of me quarreling, instead of me becoming bitter, and instead of me becoming anxious and a complainer, rather I would say, Lord, show forth your glory. Do it again, Lord. Salamat, Lord God, for the upcoming miracle. Wow! Kanami tani. Pero natabo, siling nilaya, is God here with us or not? Ari na rin Diyos, I want to see the manager. I want to see the manager. Mag-amo na gani ng isa katao sa supermarket, likado na. Meaning to say something is out of control and therefore he wants to meet the manager. But one time, nagkagto ko di sa isa kanami-nami nga shop sa Bacolod. Okay, so na may ginatanaw mo kong items, kanami. And then suddenly there was a lady that came in. She was very beautiful. Gwapa-gwapa. I was attracted to her. She was around 85 years old, Spanish lady. Kanami-nami magtindog, kagwapa-gwapa. Gulpila nag-approach na sa cashier. Kag nagsiling siya, I want to see the manager. I want to see the manager. Tapos siya to hambal, naglaway na siya. Kay nangakig siya. Naglalain siya. Anari man ko di sa kilid gani. Nagapamati. Ano tong problema to? Nung maniningad man ko bla. It was a very small thing. It was a very small problem. But I think she got offended. Listen, transitions are not the problem. Transitions will reveal what is inside. Changes will reveal and disturb you what is inside of you. It will come out. Hay kagamay lang nga nito nga problema. Ginpangita yung ang manager. Iniyan, of course, dako nga problema. Why na tubig mo? Okay? But they were saying, where is the manager? As if God is not there with them. God was with them. God was feeding them quails and manna. God was having the cloud. God was having the fire at night, the cloud by day. God was with Moses. And then they say, where is the manager? No, the manager was there. Rather, will you trust God? Crisis, transitions will reveal what is inside of us. That is why this transition became displeasing. Wala kag hindi manami, hindi tungod sa sitwasyon, kundi tungod sang tagipusoon. Kay biskan ng sitwasyon laway pa, kung ang tagipusoon manami, okay lang na. Here, it shows two things. I'll go here very quickly. You know what? Our verse today suggests two reasons as to why at this time of transition, it became displeasing. Number one, na-reveal gid yang ila heart is hard toward God. Siguro wala pa nakita nila si God to be their Father. Siguro ang nag-recall sa ila mind, ining God nga ini, do parehas man sang tyrant namon nga boss dito sang una sa Egypt. That is why, since our boss before was making it things hard for us, probably this God as well that wants to save us is probably the same. Of course not. This God that wants to save them is showing them goodness and kindness and love and freedom and wants to be their people. His people and their God. Gusto your relationship, pero hindi nila makita. Their hearts are hard. When your heart is hard, and when you are in that transition, it will be displeasing. But if ever the things around are not so good, but you are together in unity with your friend or probably your dad or your mom, you can pray together and all will be well. Tama? So number one, napakita agad ang ila heart is hard toward this God that would like to save them. Utod ko, listen ha, when transitions happen in your life, how do you treat the Lord? Ginabasol mo si Lord nga ginalaw yan eh? O kung ginasiling mo, Lord, gaan mo ko more grace, Lord ha? I cannot do this on my own. Help me ha? Help me to show forth your goodness, your kindness, your mercy. On my own, I cannot do this. I give up. Number one. Number two, they are not submitted to His guidance and leading. You know what? Egypt to the promised land is only 11 days walk. Dako na gid 14 días nga lakat. Nagabuto sila wala. 40 years pa sila nagabot. 40 years. Ay nan, 40 years. Because they were trained by God to follow, they cannot follow. They were trained by God to listen, they cannot listen. They does not want to submit to His guidance and leading, even though God was good to them. Now, utod ko pamati ha, because this could be my story, it could be your story. This could be an 11-day walk or another 30 years of struggle. Would you like to struggle for the next 30 years? Some of you here are very young. Some of you here probably are only 20, 25 years old. Would you like to destroy your life for the next 20 years, 30 years, in order to just receive the fullness of the goodness of God in your life? Come on, that's foolishness. That is why ang pinakabesubong, constantly depend on the Lord, listen to the Lord every step that you will be making. And by the way, I'm not saying it's all the time easy. No, it will not be easy. It will be hard. Pero ang nami ara siya. Imaginable, hapos-hapos na gid, way pa siya, tapos kagid. Pero kung ara siya, amo nang pinakataon sa tanan. So this passage right now that we are looking at is about journey, is about processing, is about traveling, it's about the condition of the heart, it's about what should be done, what should not be done. Hot water, you put a potato, what happens to the potato? It becomes soft. Hot water, you put an egg. What happens to the egg? Oh, it hardens. Hot water, you put coffee. What happens to the coffee? Nothing. But the coffee will change the water. The coffee will change the water. Kanami, mainit, ininit, butangan mo sang potato, softened and then compromise, and then forget standards, and then forget purity, and then just give up. Or you become an egg and you become bitter. And then you withdraw from people. You don't want relationships anymore. You become hard. Or are you like coffee? In the middle of a high temperature, it does not change. It changes the surrounding. It changes the water. Transitions will reveal where you are. I pray that when it comes, you don't forget this. Rather, we pause, instead nga magreklamo, instead nga magcomplain, magpangamuyo. Kag magsiling, Lord, anong gusto mo nga himuon ko next? Help me, teach me. And Lord, kulang ko sa pasinsya. But Lord, help me. All right? There is a time, what should we do? Believe and trusting in God when transition becomes displeasing, to understand His heart for us. Everything He does is for our good, no matter how painful the situation is. Be encouraged that in this account, despite the people's extremely negative response to their circumstances, once again the Lord responds graciously, for that is who He is. With constant trust and asking for help from God, we can survive and we can thrive and we can be victorious in every transition. I don't know what you are undergoing right now in your journey. Some of you may be average and regular in your journey at this very time. For others, may kilala ko bagulang ho, nagapangayo siya sa pangamuyo, nakita nga may ara deformity sa iya ulo right now, and may ara dako nga pressure because ang iya brain sa sulod is of course growing, pero ang iya skull is not growing anymore, so there is too much of a tension right now, and we are praying for him. He will undergo a surgery, and of course that is very delicate. That's a major test. Will he make it? Will he grow in his faith? Will he grow in his trusting with the Lord? I pray that he will grow in his trusting of the Lord. There are easy things, there are hard things, but nothing is impossible with God. Let us all stand together in the presence of the Lord.